simply because I read like one book a year. I am not that fast. But I'm getting better. I'm getting into reading. I've never really been a reader, but I'm getting there. Okay, so first up, this book really got me into reading, and I know like the author is controversial, and I would not go back to read any more of her books. These are the only two I've read. But It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. I flew through this book. It took me like 2 days, and anybody who knows me knows I do not read fast at all. So 2 days, crazy. Now, I don't think I'll read any of the blurbs on the back simply because I suck at reading out loud. So, I won't be doing that. But I recommend, if anybody wants to know anything about these books, just look it up. So this is the book that kind of got me into reading, and then I immediately went into the sequel, which is It Starts With Us. What did I call this one? It Ends With Us. Right. It Starts With Us by Colleen Hoover. Now, these are the only Colleen Hoover books I'll ever read. Okay, now that we got that out of the way, I did like the writing and how fast-paced they were. I think fast-paced is better for me. I feel like if you're world building too much and like setting up the plot too much, I lose interest, you know what I mean? I don't know, maybe that's just ADHD. I have troubles focusing. Now, the next book I read, also in advance, if you hear any background sounds, that's my dog. She's like laying down right beside me, but if she gets up and you might hear her little tippy taps on the floor. Now, the next book I read was on my Kindle. I hope this is not dead, but we'll see. Low battery, okay. The book I read on my Kindle was Flawless by Elsie Silver. Flawless by Elsie Silver. And that is the first book, I believe, in the interconnected series Chestnut Springs Witch. I got recommended by Haley Jean ASMR. In one of her videos, she was talking about how she read the Chestnut Springs series and really enjoyed it. So I thought I would give it a try, and I think I rated the book 3 stars. I thought it was really good, but it wasn't my favorite. I've heard that the other ones are good as well, so I know I have a couple of the other ones paperback, but I couldn't find them for this video. But those are on my TBR for sure, and I'll link Haley's channel in the description. She makes a lot of book content. Now, as well as getting the recommendation for Elsie Silver from Haley, I also read Normal People by Sally Rooney because of one of her videos. Now, I gave this one on Goodreads I believe a 5. Now, I don't read much, so I don't really much to say about books, but this is probably one of my favorite books that I've ever read. I mean, just the condition that this book is in, the dog hair on it. Because I was literally at work, just like gorilla gripping this, like reading this on my breaks. I enjoyed this so much. Now I know this book is not for everybody, but I really enjoyed it. The next book I read, and this is the most recent book I finished a couple months ago. This is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. Now this is the first book in the series. I think I gave this on Goodreads I think I gave this book a 3 stars on Goodreads. I feel like I was trudging through the first bit of it. Because again, it was like one of those books that like really built up the scene. And like the setting and like the scenes and everything, and like it took a while to like get going. But I feel like the last like 10 chapters really popped off, you know, like there was so much going on. I really enjoyed the last like bit of this book. And I know like I hear it gets better and better. So I'm looking forward to the next books in the series. Yeah, so this is the most recent one I finished. Now, this book is what I'm currently reading, and it's not a surprise that it's A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas, which is the second book in the series. This is a lot chunkier than the first book, about double the size. And I've never been one to read a big book, let alone a fantasy series, so this is the first time I've ever read anything in the fantasy romance / fantasy genre, and I'm really enjoying it. I don't know if I'm too much of like a fantasy reader, more of a romance reader, but I'm really enjoying the plot, like the fantasy of this series. And I'm not going to spoil anything, so you guys are good if you haven't read this, but I feel like I'm late to the train, so I'm probably the last one to read it. Yep, so this is A Court of Mist and Fury by Sarah J. Maas. I'm about halfway through it. I'm on chapter like 33 or something. 32 or 33. I think. Now what I do, and I finesse the system because I'm a really slow reader, and the only way I'm getting through this chunk is I read the book, but at the same time as I read, I listen to the audiobook on Everend, which is like an app that you can subscribe to, and there's like, you can listen to audiobooks. And I listen to it at like 1.5 speed, but I also read along, so I don't feel like I'm cheating as much. But that's the only way I could like get through these books, is listen to it as well as like read it with my eyes. Wow, I think I really do have ADHD now that I'm saying that out loud. rest of the books that I'm going to show are on my TBR. These are not really in order past the two first books I'll show. Those are like the books I want to read first that are going to get priority. This one, I don't know if I want to read. I don't know if I want to continue reading the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, like back to back to back, because then I'll get burnt out. So I think for a brief moment afterwards, I'm going to start Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. I don't know too much about this. I just know it kind of popped off on TikTok. And it's got dragons in it. That's all I know. So we'll see if I like it. I literally don't know anything about the plot, really. I think I might just go in blind. I hear it's good, so I'm gonna take y'all's word for it. The next book is, of course, A Court of Wings and Ruin by Sarah J. Maas. This is the third book in the Thorns and Roses series. Again, don't know what the plot of this book is yet, but I think for burnout purposes I'm gonna read Fourth Wing first, just so I don't get too ahead of myself. But so far I'm really enjoying A Court of Mist and Fury, so I think I'm gonna like really enjoy the rest of the series. So I'm excited to read this. I have the whole series. They're just over there. The next book I have is Hey June by Cree Nomad. Now I don't know if this is flipped and I don't know how to flip it back, so sorry about that. I started this at the airport when I was flying home from seeing my parents. And I got about 9% in according to Goodreads, but I kind of put it down because I was already into A Court of Mist and Fury, so I'm a type of person who feels like I'm cheating on a book if I start reading another one at the same time. So I kind of put this down, but I do plan to read it. Green Nomad is an indigenous creator on TikTok, and I just really enjoy their content. So I was really, really interested in this book, and I am going to read it. It's on my TBR. I just haven't picked it back up. But the first 9%, really good. The next book on my TBR is Unexpected by E.J. Blaze. Now, I got this recommendation from another ASMR artist here on YouTube. Her name is Ray ASMR. I will link her channel in the description. She makes a lot of book content as well. I feel like I watch a lot of book content and then I get inspired to read, but then never actually sit down to read. You know, I have a problem where I buy a million books, but then they just sit for years and years. I'm pretty pretty sure like a lot of people have that problem, but you know, I'm trying to limit myself on buying books. I've put myself on a book buying ban so that I can get through, you know, my physical TBR. Now again, I don't know what this book is about really. Ray explains it in her video a little bit. But again, I kind of just want to go in blind. I do hear that there is some triggering stuff in here, so if you are interested in reading this book, I suggest looking those up first. The next book is I'm Very Late to the Game for the classic Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. Now, I think I've seen like most of the movies, and like, I'm sorry guys, but I don't get it. I don't get it. I think they're funny to watch, definitely, but I don't know if I'll pick this up anytime soon, you know. I do hear the books are better than the movies, obviously, but we'll see. It's not on my top, like, priority, so I don't know when I'll get to this, but it does make good sounds. Next up is Legends and Lattes by Travis Beltry. I hope I pronounced that right. I don't know. Now I got this recommendation by another ASMR artist because I watch so much ASMR, so much book-related ASMR. That's where I get most of my like picks from. I will link her YouTube channel in the description as well. Her name is Shit Show ASMR. I definitely watch her book videos all the time. She's one of my favorites at the moment. She was singing praises for this book, so I'm really looking forward to reading it. It's fantasy, but also kind of cozy as well. So I'm excited for like a cozy read, but I feel like this book would make a good like autumn read. So I might wait till like September, October for this one. Just for the cozy vibes, you know. The next book is another big one, Babel by R.F. Kuang. Now this one right now sits as a DNF, simply because I started reading it and then got distracted by another book. This one is Dark Academia, and I have never read a Dark Academia book before, so I'm not really sure what I'm in for, plot-wise. But I'm excited. I hear this book is really good, and I hear all of R.F. Kuang's books are pretty good, so I might try some other ones depending on if I like this. So this was a DNF, but I intend to read, like, to finish it. I have 3 books left, So the next book is another Sally Rooney book. That is Beautiful World, Where Are You? I got this after finishing Normal People because I really enjoy Sally Rooney's writing. I find it really beautiful. I'm excited to get into this, but again, I'm just such a distracted person, and I'm in the middle of the Court of Mist and Fury, so I haven't started this one yet. I bought this like a year ago too. The last two books are part of a series, and I only have the first two books, but there's 3 books in it, or 4 books now. I don't know, I'll have to check. I think there's 4 books now. But the first one is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. Again, getting this book rec from Haley Jean. She swears by this book. So I thought I would give it a try. I know it's a YA compared to an adult fantasy, so we'll see how that fares. This is the first book in the Folk of the Air series, by the way. I don't think I mentioned that. That is The Cruel Prince by Holly Black. And then I have the second book, which is our last book that I'll be talking about today. That is The Wicked King. Now, I am so sad that I got this as a hardback. I enjoy paperbacks more than the hardcovers. But when I ordered this, I ordered it, like, I bought this one first, and then I ordered this one on Amazon, I believe, and they only had the hardcover version, so kind of sad about that, but oh well. They do make exquisite sounds though, so I'm not too mad. And that is the last book. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you